Who are you today, Tommy? Are you strong, Tommy, or are you bitch, Tommy? Welcome back to the Here's the Crack podcast, episode 38. We just finished, 9. Episode 39. We just finished recording episode
38.
38.
What comes before 39?
Quick maths.
Quick maths, man.
Yeah, we're recording 2 because we'll just be back from the port. Big plans.
We've just been surfing.
Busy boys.
Celebrations. But we'll just jump straight into another Tommy's question. Roll that intro.
Greetings, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the greatest show on earth.
It's Tommy's question time.
Right, so yeah, this is more of like a discussion I want to start.
Okay.
So basically, like when me and Brona go to the cinema, like someone will buy the tickets and someone will buy the sweets, like.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And it got me thinking, like when you start going out with someone, you know, like when you start going out with a girl or whatever, and you're like, obviously they buy, like the first few times you go out, the buy for stuff, like.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, like, at when's the stage where like the girl should start sort of being like, oh no, I'll get that, and you're like, yeah, okay, because I've paid for whatever. Do you know what I mean? Like at what stage? At what stage in the relationship are you like, right, we sort of need to start being like, you can't expect me to pay for everything.
Yeah.
Or like another thing I was thinking was like, maybe some people think the man should always pay, or maybe some people think the man shouldn't pay at all. Do you know what I mean? What are your thoughts?
They're most likely with a man who has money.
Let's have a wee
So not like us.
discussion about this.
Well, go on ahead. You take away, Shay.
What's your thoughts?
In
What do you think?
In an ideal world, you should both pay from the very start.
Yeah.
But you're not going to do that, like. As cultured as I think we'd always like buy on the first date as a man.
Yeah.
You'd always want to buy first, but in terms of how long, I don't know. I think personally, I don't even think it was a couple of months, I'd say.
Yeah. I was trying to think.
So
Not
long
that there's
ago.
any. Yeah, that's what I was trying to think back. I meant to ask Brona, but I didn't. Like,
But then at that time too, I suppose it's just to do with your situation as well, because Aoife didn't work and I worked.
yeah.
Like I was working for my dad and shit, like, so I was getting money, like she wasn't getting.
Yeah, but you started
making
going
money,
out so young as well. Like.
Yeah.
Like me and
yeah.
Brona started going out when I was like 17, 18,
Yeah.
like, maybe 18 I think it was.
Yeah.
So like we were both working, like. But you know, it's just like, when do you sort of, you would obviously never be like, oh, can you get this, like, but you know what I mean?
Yeah.
When would you sort of be
You'd
thinking
always
to
offer
yourself,
them. Yeah.
oh, like I've sort of paid for, like, you know,
Aye.
'Cause,
I
like,
do like
you're-
to be the one who does pay, but
I know, but like you do like to be like, oh, I'll get, like, now it's not like you're like, oh, well, I got the last thing, it's your turn. Do you know what I mean? It's more just like, when do you think at the stage, it's like, you're sort of like, alright, well, fuck me. Especially being a student and stuff, like,
Yeah.
when you're like, I can't be whining and dining you here every night.
Yeah. Yeah. I suppose I think whenever you're
Danville's
both
area.
earning money, like, to a reasonable extent, like.
Or would it be a deal breaker if, like, say, like, you were going out for a while and, like, you're sort of just getting the feeling, oh, they're just expecting me to pay for everything here? Would that be sort of like, don't know if I like that?
I think that depends on the man too, like. I'd say there's people out there, maybe you are, but they'd like to have that, like, to feel like they're looking after someone, like.
Yeah.
There's guys out there who will, like, even if they're not paying, they'll want to come across as if they're paying. So, like,
You've seen some of them,
so
that's
like,
it.
if they're like coming up to like a drive-through Starbucks or whatever, because I remember it happened not too long ago with us, where we literally were driving through somewhere and stopped off at the drive-through in Antrim to get a Starbucks, and I did not have a clue how much was in my Monzo.
Yeah.
So I literally leant across and it declined, and I was like, right, went across again, declined again, and then I went in and it checked that I was like, I had like 6.35, and I was trying to make like a 6.90 transaction,
God,
and Lucinda like handed over her card and was like, no, here, take that, and I said, alright, cheers, and then I like leant over and tapped it, so it kind of looked like I just took her card to pay.
Yeah.
And I was like, she's going to be thinking
know,
I'm
but
one of them guys. Do
I
you know
know,
what I
but
mean? But it's
drive-throughs differently. Like, it's awkward. Like,
yeah.
like
But
it'd
they're-
be a bit awkward if she's in like the passenger seat and she's like, oh, I'll pay for this, but she won't give you her card, and she's just like trying to
Yeah.
reach, like.
But there'll be guys in a restaurant who literally, like, if the girl's paying, they'll be like, here, give me your card so it looks like I'm paying.
I would never go that far, like.
That's a bit weird.
But people, I think people are like that.
There definitely is people.
But
who are
it'd be,
like that.
have I heard of like things even it's like if I want like let's say a couple's out for dinner and like it's like going up to the till to pay them all, like the girl would be like, oh no, I'll get this, and he'd be like, alright, but give me your card, you know, like he wouldn't want people thinking that she's paying, or it's like, who gives a fuck, like?
I wouldn't really care, like, you're probably never going to see the person at the till again, like,
Oh no.
and they're hardly going to go home to their friends and be like, oh my god, you'll never guess what happened.
Shay Cullen was in there the other day,
Jesus,
and Aoife was like,
believe
I'll
that?
pay, but Shay was like, give me your card. What a disgrace.
Caught out.
But
What
I
do
don't
you
know.
think?
I think
What do you like yourselves though? Like, would you be like, oh, I have to pay forever?
I wouldn't. Like I think we just, like, me and Listen have been going out that long. It's like, just like if we're going, it's like, say it would be kind of like that, but it would be more like, say we were going to the cinema and we're going to the cinema at like 6, then I, like, if I paid for the cinema and then afterwards we scooted up to Tesco to like get like dinner, like
What
say
Tesco?
like get like I don't know, like just get like something like quick, or we'll go round to McDonald's or something, like she would pay.
Yeah.
And like it's got to the stage now where I wouldn't really if, don't get me wrong, if we pulled up to the drive-through and she never like reached her card out, I wouldn't be like,
Yeah.
woman,
Yeah.
get the queen out there to
Get the
start, you know
queen
what I mean?
out.
I wouldn't be like that, but I don't know, like, I get where you're coming from, because like, but then me and Lucinda were friendly enough before we started going out, so that awkwardness kind of wasn't there, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Whereas I remember I went out with like girls and all beforehand, and it was like, no, I'd pay for the cinema.
No, well, I
You know,
think
I'll pay
like
for
when
everything.
you first start going out, I definitely would have been like, you know, I'm paying for this. So. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. But then as well as that, you don't want to come across as if you're one of these guys who are like, oh no, you're a girl,
Oh, no.
like, you can't afford it.
It's not that. It's, you wouldn't want to make a scene, like, but at the same time, you don't want to seem like, oh, I'm taking you out for dinner, or I'm taking you on a date, and like expecting you to pay for it, because like usually it is the boy that asks the girl out. Like.
But here's another good question. Like, I would consider our 3 ladies to be in at present probably a more going into or being in a job which will most likely have them earning more money. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Three kept men.
You know what I mean?
We're away
Like,
and locked
she's
off,
like,
right?
Lucinda's like, Brona's in the hospital, like working in the hospital. Aoife's doing her thing, which
She's
I
doing her
have
thing,
no
whatever
clue
the
what
fuck.
it is, but it
Numbers and
sounds
stuff.
very numbery and
Number.
expensive. And then like,
Calculator.
Lucinda's doing engineering and all. So like, so many people have said to me like, listen, she's doing her PhD, and then it'll be like afterwards she'll go on and do something else and be like, oh, how does it feel, like, you know, you could be a stay-at-home dad? And I'm just like, why is that? Like, I wouldn't want to be, but at the same time there's people who have literally been like, and like, what would be the,
No, like the people would
You
be
know
the
what I mean?
worst thing in the world.
like, if she was going out and earning like 200 grand or something a year, I'd be like, you know what, you go get that coin, I'll gladly stay at home and play PlayStation. I mean, do the washing and all.
Do the washing.
Do you know what I mean?
Right off,
But would you ever do that? Like, say Aoife got a mad ass promotion and was on like 800,000 a year,
yeah.
would you be like,
Yes, 100,000.
no,
a
like,
year.
realistically, I'm being serious, but would you be like, no, say even like 250k a year, like,
Yeah.
that's mad? Would you be like what, why am I working?
No.
See, I would still work.
So would I.
I think it
I've
just
got
has
this
to be
thing
in
where I
there,
just
like.
can't be content with how much you're getting. Like. You need more and more. Like.
Or would you try and start your own wee business or something, like, so you don't actually stereotypically have to work, but you can still like sort of flog it to people as if you're actually doing something? Do you know what I mean?
It depends what you're like. Like, I think you have to have your own sort of ambition. Like, you need to have your own thing. Like.
You're fucking bored in there. So.
Exactly. It's more like
Yeah.
you need to work towards something, I think. Like.
But I feel like if that was to happen, that would cause so many issues, because like, imagine like, even like the like, I think after a while you would start to like get at each other,
But you
because
wouldn't.
like,
But like, that's
if she's away out earning some coin, comes back, and then you're like, I'm away out to play football with the lads, and like, you haven't,
Can I have a favour?
yeah, like,
Pay for the
like you
oxygen.
haven't done the washing or something, which I've been literally, I support you.
But it's more like if that's ours, it's such a different scenario. Like, that's almost shit. Like, if that was to happen, that's almost shit being like, oh well, you're making good money, I don't really need to work anymore.
Yeah.
And he's just a lazy cunt then. Like, he's just changing his whole like personality. Like, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Whereas like, so if we could just be like, well, he's completely changed. It might have nothing to do with money. It'd just be more like, he's a lazy cunt now. I don't like that.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But would it bother you, like, if Lucinda was to just stop working? Like?
No.
See, having kids as well is a completely different thing. Like.
Yeah.
Like, if you don't have a babysitter, like, you need someone that actually does have to, like, drop the kids off and stuff. Like.
And then there's that
Well,
people who work to get their kids minded. Like there's people who work, get a wage, and that wage all goes towards babysitters, where they're probably safer staying at home. Like.
Yeah.
Whereas, like, you say
There's a threshold you want to surpass.
Yeah. Whereas, like, you say, like, stay-at-home dad, but, like, it could just be a case of, like, Lucinda's making the most money and she's, like, more needed where she is. Whereas, like, you might have more flexibility where you can be, like, look after the kids and all here shit and all this here stuff.
Well, like, when you think about it, like, you've got a point where if you had, like, kids and you were having them looked after, and say you were earning, like, say you were earning, like, I don't know, say you're on 22k a year, so you're £1,500 a month, and, like, you were spending the majority on that, on getting your kids looked after by some other person.
Yeah.
I think at that stage then it would be the case of going, right, well, why am I paying someone who to have literally like £150 left at the end of the month to pay someone to look after my kids, when you could spend more time off with your kids and then try and, like, do, like, a wee, like, side hustle, even if you're earning, like, £500, £600 a month. You're still earning more. You have more time with your kids. Do you know what I mean?
And then there's, like, working from home now is a big thing. Like, so
yeah,
you might not even have to. It's mad.
But, like, yeah, I suppose you've got a point. Like, I think at the start, it's like it's definitely the man's. It's very controversial. But it's like the man's job.
And
to
then
pay.
I was thinking now, like, with how woke people are, like, if you were by starting to go out with a girl now, would you be sort of thinking, oh, am I, like, insulting her by paying?
Imagine that. Like, what would you do if you were arrested, if you met,
But
say you met a girl on Tinder, right?
Do you ever watch that First Dates, like, when it comes to, like, paying the bill, and there's so many, like, different awkward situations.
I watched the one on Gogglebox where he went to pay and they were all like, oh, that's really cute, he's paying, and then the card declined and then he rang his mum. He was like, hi,
It was
Mum,
all like the
can you transfer money in? And they were all like, oh, and she was like, no, it's fine, I'll pay. And he was like, no, like, and he pure got into a wild fluster, like, and I was like, oh, we pay it.
And then I've seen, like, ones where the guys forgot the card, like.
Oh.
Or, like, he's want to pay and the girl's like, no, we'll split it, no.
I think it's alright splitting it, but, like, it's one of those guys who doesn't even offer, like, or girls who doesn't offer, like.
I'm not, it's not
goes
even
a long
worse.
way, like.
It's like when they make a big deal about how much money it is as well, and they're like, like this, like, they get the bill and they're like, and she's like, oh no, like, we'll split it, and he's like, no.
Got reached over the card.
Just don't pay it.
Imagine though, like, you were wild sneaky and you were to come over and the bill was like £80 or something, and you were like, yeah, grand. And then whenever she gets home, she's like lying in the bed, she's like ringing her friends and all, hey, you're so lovely. And the next minute, like, ting, such and such has requested £40 off you for dinner tonight. And you're just like, oh wow. But I think would you discuss it before you would do it? Like, say if you were going to a cinema, would you be like, oh, here, you get that, or like, is it just one of them things that come naturally?
It's usually like
just happens. Like.
Oh, it depends. Like, we usually would, like, book the tickets online. So, like, now it's like with everything that's going on. So, like, now it's like, oh well, if someone's booked the tickets, they'll pay. But, like, it's not like, oh well, I've got the tickets, you have to get the suite. Do you know what I mean? But it's like the same as you. Like, if someone paid for the cinema or they like to get food after, like, the other person would probably pay.
I think one way that we do split things is I usually pay if it's by card.
Yeah.
But if it's, you know, like most places around home, like, don't even take fucking card. Like.
Yeah.
So that would be something she'd paid for, like, because she generally has cash with her. Like.
Right.
But I'd never carry. I wouldn't even carry a card to, like, go and withdraw cash. So, like, she generally would pay for stuff like that there.
Yeah.
So I think that's one way we found us with it, but it sort of works out. But at the cinema as well, like, we've been twice now from the reopening. I've just ordered tickets and then she just got sweets and shit whenever we're there. Like.
Yeah.
But I think I generally got off better buying the tickets.
Definitely. The sweets are fucking mental.
Did you forget how, like, I think a lot of the tickets were like 2 student tickets, like 12 quid, and then you go and I'm pretty sure we got just a popcorn and a drink each, like, and you're into like 16 quid. Like.
That's
the thing that's
disgusting.
That
Big
really
doll.
pisses Lucinda off is whenever she's like, you want popcorn? And I'm like, nah, I'm alright. And halfway through the film, I'll reach over and start eating.
Not so,
but
why?
Like, it's just like halfway during it, I'll just like reach over and be like, oh, give us a wee bit. And she's like, aye, damn right, you want a wee bit? Shove up your ass. Like, do you know what I mean? She'll like sometimes like it depends on
It's
how
like,
hungry she is.
you know
So,
when you go
like
to-
you know what Lucinda's like. She'll be like, nah, literally no. She'll set it on the other seat.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say.
Come
like,
get it,
when
bitch.
You're sitting beside each other and you're like, set the stuff to the other
You
side.
reach over and she digs you in the wall. Like, get the fuck.
Do you
Never mind.
do you take your shoes off in the cinema?
What?
No.
You sick?
So about a year ago, we were in the cinema and I looked and there was a guy sitting like way down, but he had his feet up, like the cinema was empty, but he had no shoes on.
Yeah.
And then the couple of weeks ago, we went to see A Quiet Place 2. The cinema was dead,
Seriously.
and I was just sitting there, and I just remember being like, I just got to take my shoes off. Like. So I took my shoes off and like put my feet up in the front and the thing in front. Oh my god, it was so bliss. Like. Best cinema experience I've ever had. Like,
Like on the other house, and
You're
we'd be
getting-
fucking stinking if I took my shoes off.
Exactly.
Like.
do you
You're getting too comfortable there, I think.
do you remember the 3D glasses phase where like you were going? I remember the first
Yeah.
one I went to see was Street Dance. Went and seen Street Dance in 3D.
Street dance.
Yeah,
Is that what it's called?
Yeah, I was. And you remember Step Up?
Yeah.
Step Up was there was a pile of them movies, but there was a one called Street Dance, and I remember I wanted to go see it because I was really into my N-Dubs phase,
Oh,
and they
God.
were like the. So I said, yeah, we'll go see
Nah,
it. We'll go
nah.
see it. And see, he saved the boy from suicide.
Did
Dappy.
Yeah.
Did I?
He was on. He was recording a music video or something on London Bridge, and there was the police were trying to talk a guy down from jumping, and apparently he looked over and seen Dappy. It was like, I want to talk to him. Like he's one of my favorite rappers, and he came over and talked to him and all, and talked him down off the bridge.
What?
Because people were like posting all, it's like not all heroes wear capes.
That's mental.
Just 10-inch songs.
Yeah. Nah.
You ever see that picture?
Nah.
Nightmares, fucking
was it?
nightmares. You haven't seen it?
No.
Dappys Shlong. No, it's like a fucking
Shlong
the
is
size of my
such-
arm.
Shlong.
It's a baby arm, like.
He looks tiny as well.
I suppose maybe that's why. Like, but
Remember, everybody was so obsessed with Talisa.
yeah, right off. I watched the video the other day. I remember the
Yeah.
time Gary Barlow goes, I
Yeah.
don't know what offends me more. Your
Or your fag ash breath.
comment or your faggot breath. Holy shit, like,
No,
he's an
it's-
asshole.
And
Like.
then about 5 minutes later, she was like, I can just smell the red wine. And everybody's like, too late. You missed the
Too
mark.
slow, girl.
That's so funny.
But speaking of celebrities, we had a wee sift through Addison Rae's Instagram before we started this, and there was some. I believe I've seen a pile of TikToks where people go through all of like the celebrities
They
like
actually go into
comments.
the profile and all that.
Yeah, like it's just all these old men. But I'll show you. I'll get a few up that were on.
It's
Addison
mad though.
Rae's
Like,
one.
what do people expect to come from the comments though?
Addison Rae
Fuck,
message
man.
isn't like.
Do you know what I mean? Like, as if they're gonna see their one comment and be like, I'm definitely gonna message that guy. Like.
He's turned me on with his poetry. Oh yeah.
He just
The one- I've-
just sends a load of
The
peach
one,
emojis.
the
or
one in
something.
particular was the one of Addison Rae sitting in like a mini skirt, and she's sitting on the concrete.
Right.
think
I
you
did see
sent
some
me-
funny ones
yeah.
about
Is that the TikTok?
Yeah, it was like this girl was like, "How is she sitting with her ass cheeks on the cold concrete?" And then this guy like put his face on concrete and was like, "I, as concrete, resent this comment. Addison should be allowed to do whatever she wants." All in here, but there's this one guy. Oh, I just take one sniff, please.
Stop.
LOL, sit on me.
Imagine like he was married or something, or like had a daughter and she's saying that comment. Like, do you know what I mean? It's just
His
like
daughter idolizing Addison Rae.
FC
Like, it's-
Elias goes, "I really want you to come over and degrade me." Like, what the hell pops into your mind whenever, like, would you ever do that?
well, it's even
Like, say if you were like,
I feel
"Ah,
like
really
people-
like a flipping Kim Kardashian or something, and that's the first thing. Oh, you know what?
I feel like
love,
people-
you come over, spread me Nutella on my flipping nips. Like, do you know what I mean?
I think some people just do it on TikTok to try and get top comment. Like think
Yeah.
of them because there's so
but
much
there's some
thought.
funny comments.
There's so much thought put into a lot of those TikTok comments. Like it's fucking insane. But I'd say a lot of people just do it so they can get a top comment on their video.
Yeah, fair.
So that's a laugh.
But I just find it mad because it's like, what if someone you knew, if you did comment something and someone you knew is gonna say that? Because you know, like, if someone comments under like a post, like it's usually like if you're following them, like it'll come up. If you know what I mean.
Mm.
Yeah.
Like if you're following someone, like your friend follows, like if they have liked the photo, it'll come up like, oh, Shay Conn liked this,
Mm-hmm.
and 5,500,000 others or something. So it's like, what? Why?
There was this one time whenever I was really into the like photography and was always on my like photography Instagram. There was this one guy who I followed, and he'll remain nameless, but he always was posting like pictures like landscapes, but then he would have been like out with his kids and all.
Yeah.
And I remember there was one, I was on the like explore page,
Right.
and there was this one girl, I think she's local, which is why I clicked on it, but basically she was sitting laid over with like a duvet type thing like spread over, but like it was covering like the necessary bits, like where Instagram was like, right, we'll not remove this, but like you're pushing the limit, love. But I was like, why is this on my thing? And then I just seen a comment, and on it was like, sent you a DM if you ever want to collab, winky face. And I was like, you dirty man.
I loved at the start of that sentence she goes, because she was local, disclaimer.
Oh my god.
But like, yeah, that's it. My mate was actually, he does a lot of photography as well, and he was in a shop getting his photos like developed.
Yeah.
And the girl behind the counter who was like developing the photos handed it over to him, went, had a flick through some of your landscapes, they're really good. I actually do all types of modelling, like if you ever wanted to like come like take photos of me. And he was like, all right, or like he was so awkward about it, but like he was like, yeah, let's see your stuff. And she fully started showing him like a gallery of her undressed.
Oh my god.
And he was just like, I sure like we'll be in contact and all. I was like, no way, like.
That's so funny.
But imagine getting the kit off, like.
Oh fuck, I actually did something like that today, not get the kid off, but I was sitting in work. But whenever we're like out at site, you take photos of the site.
Yeah.
Just so like, just rather than trying to remember everything from memory.
Yeah.
But we take like photos of like parts of the house and stuff like that there, so then we upload them onto the drive. So I was taking them off my phone, and I was like just like scrolling through them and all. But like the girl who's working with me was sitting beside me, like, and I, you know that sometimes I send in those videos of me in the gym with no top on, like,
Yeah.
just screaming and just shit like that. Like I was going down through and a few of them popped up, and I was like, fucking get out of that, the fuck. Before she sees that. But yeah, I didn't realise.
What do you think of that structure? That's well built, isn't it, love? Isn't it?
Queer foundations put in there. It's not just a facade.
Double glazed windows and
It's
that.
all,
Like,
that's all internal.
but speaking of that, we were actually talking about this before the podcast. What is your opinion on? Have you ever been to like a gym whenever there has been a guy in who's been like pure yelling and shouting and all? Have you been in?
I don't think it's the grunting. It's the grunting. Do you know what I mean? It's like, do you know when like you're like proper like fucking like you're like towards the end of your set, like your last set or something, and it's like the last rap, and you might just be like, you don't proper grunt like, but you're sort of like exhaling. Like. But you know what I mean? And then there's guys literally just like warming up, and they're like, do you know what I mean? You're just like, right.
So I've never really been in the
There's
same,
no need for that. Like.
same gym scenario as you. Like I just want it at home really.
Yeah.
So like I don't see those people who are like, you know, obviously it's just those guys who are just so fucking intense and probably rided the fuck out like.
Yeah.
But like that wasn't really a thing, so that makes me think sometimes if you don't see that going on in the gym, are you that guy?
Imagine.
I must admit, I was at the gym the other day, and I was bench pressing and got to like Adam's with me, and we're kind of going back and forth, and I was kind of like loading the weight on, and then towards like the last bit, I remember pushing up. I remember getting like a wild like pain in my shoulder, and I was literally just like. And Adam was like, all right, stop, like you're embarrassing me. And I was like, yeah, sorry. But like I've seen videos of like lads who are like local, and they're pure like in like the gyms around Ballymena, and they'll put up videos of themselves like doing these like squats or stuff.
Yeah.
But like they're so weird the way they do it, because they're like and then they start like out there punching their chest, and then the funniest bit is you see whenever they go up to the bar to like assess the bar, they go like this here just to check it's still straight.
Yes, it's a bar.
But like I've seen ones recently where boys are just like, you lift this effing bar up, you're useless out there, and you're like, imagine if you're just like sitting there, imagine you're going in like,
I
say
don't know, it's
you-
like your first day at the gym,
Yeah.
and that happens, you've been never going
Yeah.
back.
And then no
Could you
doubt the gym-
imagine them guys in bed? Like,
Oh my god.
I don't want to know. Like. Fucking useless piece of shit. Get up the fuck.
you walk through them doors and you make shit happen.
It's like that episode of The In-Betweeners where Simon can't get a boner. Like.
You should. Have you ever seen the girl on TikTok though? She's quite small, but she does all the deadlifts. And on the way up, she always makes sure and records when there's like guys right. But on the way up, she goes like, "Oh yeah!" And the guys, you just see all these guys like, "What the heck?" And she so straight faced as if like, "Yeah, this is what I was born to do." Like.
That's so funny.
But I would genuinely walk out. Like if there was a guy next to me, imagine if you're like doing your thing. So like you're squatting like maybe what 100 kg, and the guy beside you is like squatting like 260 or something, and he just walks out. You would feel so unmasculine.
I wouldn't even care about that. Like.
Mm-hmm.
It's more just the girl that'd make me uncomfortable. Like. Do you know what I mean? You'd just be like, right, like if you're in the rack, say it's like 2 racks and he's the rack beside you going on like that, like you'd just be like, nah, I ain't gonna go.
Get me away from this. Like.
Deadlifting
Don't
like
need this
320
negativity.
kg, and you're just like, yeah, cheers, love it. But have you ever had any like embarrassing gym moments? Like have you ever tried to like put too much weight on, then went to do it, and you're
I'm
like,
trying to
absolutely not.
No, I'm trying to think. See, I'd be afraid of that, so I try to
Never
like,
feels.
I try to like warm up, like, so like if I'm bouncing, I like start up and like just build the weight up, and then you sort of know yourself. Like.
Never drop a lift.
Whereas like if you're ego lifting, like, and you're like, oh, just throwing the weight on, like.
I dropped 100 on me once. Fucking benching. Like.
That's bad.
Fucking sore. I was like, oh, lucky there was someone with me. Like.
But like you're
Fuck. Like.
you're
I was there for a week. Like.
you gym on your own.
Yeah. But I've
In
started.
your own, like imagine you.
See, that would scare me more.
But
Like.
I've started now. Not putting the collars on the bar whenever I'm benching, so I can push it off if that does happen again. You learn from your mistakes. Huh?
You ever been sick at the gym?
No.
I wasn't sick at the gym, but have you ever went to one of those circuits classes?
Yes.
Holy fuck! I
Yeah.
showed up to one of these circuit. My auntie took me one time. Showed up to the circuit class at 7 o'clock in the morning. Like, I think I was literally only in bed 3 hours. So I came down to this fucking circuit class, head hanging off me. Went in, me and 3 other women, and I was like, got this. Then
Easy.
the guy was like fucking
You walked in.
taking us round.
Oh my word! Sorry.
Oh my god, you have an iPhone now. What the
Yeah.
fuck?
I know.
Man has
But,
wised up.
yeah, so went in, looked around, and was like, got this, easy. Bear in mind, I hadn't worked out in like fucking years. Went in, your guy was pushing everyone so fucking hard, like. And I think I got into like the second, third sets. I was like, do you mind if I sit out for a minute there now? And then, like, everyone else just going strong, and I just walked outside, and then fucking the fresh air hit me, like, and I was walking about, pacing about, and then fucking goes, right, here we go again. So I went back in, done another 2 fucking sets, and went outside and lay flat on the fucking tarmac outside. I could not stand up. All these women just going on ahead, like. I had to lay flat on, I literally lay beside a fucking dumpster, like, with my head in the ground. I could not stand up. It was the fucking most awful thing I've ever been to in my life.
See, the one that always gets me used to be whenever we started playing that 5-a-side football on a Tuesday night, and like we play it, like you were obviously there last week.
That was tough.
We play 9 to 10, right?
Yeah.
So then afterwards, I didn't eat. There was one time I didn't eat, and then I'd back up in the morning to go in the gym for 6.
Yeah.
And I remember like one of the first times I ever done the 5-a-side football, I came home, went straight to bed, got up the next morning, so I had nothing since like 6 o'clock the next day, last day. And like we'd obviously, like when you're playing football, like I'll easily burn like 1100 calories, no bother. Like.
Yeah.
And I remember going in the gym and literally just doing my thing, and oh my word, on the way home I was hopping off like Lucinda's was only like 5 minutes away from me, but I genuinely have never felt more shit in my life. Like I genuinely thought I'm either going to be sick, or I don't even think there's anything inside me to be sick.
Yeah.
But I got back, hey, and I ate like 4 bowls of Cookie Crisp, and just like half an hour later,
Cookie
just, like,
Crisp
revived
is
myself.
the shit though.
Sure, calories gone.
I can imagine you. I can imagine you in the gym doing your thing, like squatting and all, and being like, "Let's go, Tommy. Let's go, Tommy."
No.
Who are you today, Tommy? Are you strong, Tommy, or are you bitch, Tommy?
Worthless.
Stop slapping your head.
I was sick at something similar to Shay was like.
They're so underrated.
I hadn't played football in ages, and I just took a notion, like, me and one of my mates were like, "Oh, we'll go back," and like I'd been drinking and like smoking and all, and hadn't been like doing any exercise for like a year or two. Like, fucking done a few like circuit sessions, and I was already like nearly sick at every one. I think I was sick at one or two, but like I had to stop.
Yeah.
And then I just ended up not going back because I was like, I'm just not fit for this.
The exact same thing happened to me. I went back to football. I think it was in first year uni.
Yeah.
After like 4 years out, and showed up early, you know, and then the manager was like, "Right, everybody, do 4 laps there, warm up, get going." 2 laps in, I had to sit out. And the warm up,
Yeah.
the fucking warm up, and I think everyone was like, "Is this guy fucking serious? Like, think he's gonna get on here?"
Yeah.
I was so embarrassed. So embarrassed. That's why it's tough coming back after a
I
year.
genuinely do hate being sick though. Even if I know I'm gonna be sick, I'll purposely be like, no, Ross, do not do this to yourself, like.
Yeah.
It's so humbling, like. It's so near proper. Like, I think then, because like at that stage you're sort of like, you used to play football, and like I used to play hurling like nearly every night of the week. I would have been doing something.
Yeah.
So in your head you're like, "Oh, I used to do this no bad,"
Easy.
and then you go back and you're like, "Oh no,
Yeah.
man is not fit."
No, I don't.
Same with that soccer the other night we went to. Like.
You were still running about after like 45 minutes with a jumper on.
I know, I couldn't get a chance to fucking take it off. I was afraid of fucking missing a fucking defending moment and then getting my head fucking hit off or something. But yeah, I couldn't get the fucking jumper off. It was tough. Like, I paid for it. I've literally only just recovered, I think maybe yesterday from it. I was fucking sore.
Aye.
I lathered myself with DP. Like. Was amazing.
Oh, DP. Where'd you put the DP? Hey?
Magic. Not on my balls anyway. I'll tell you that much.
Have you done that?
Yeah, by accident, yes.
Have
Feels
you ever
good.
done that?
Does
it feel good though?
No.
I accidentally replaced it with a moisturiser one night.
What?
Moisturiser beside my bed.
Oh no.
It was spicy. No, right.
Hot dog.
A joke.
No thanks. Yeah, I remember whenever I was quite young, I had like bashed my knee and mum, or no. This is maybe slightly more embarrassing. It was before my driving test.
Right.
I was down at New Ferry skiing,
Right. Yeah.
and I remember I creaked my neck, and I had my driving test the next morning,
Yeah.
but I could not move my neck. So like my whole driving test, you know the way they say exaggerate your head movements, I literally was not
3
even on
points.
purpose being like looking behind me like. And I remember like the night before, like mum gave me DP and was like, "Put that on it, you'll feel better in the morning." I said, "Yeah, no bother."
Yeah, rub that shit in there.
DP on. Next minute, like lay in bed, just kind of like rubbed it off. You know, like all guys do this. You lie in bed and you just kind of cup it to make sure it's still there. So I turned around, slipped my hand down.
Yeah.
You know, touched a few areas, and the next minute, sort of like just chilling on the iPad. And the next minute, it was literally just as if like hit, and I went, "Oh my
That's
god!
hot.
Oh my god! Oh my god!" And then the
Oh
worst
my
thing
God.
was, I went in and tried to like wash it off with cold water. As soon as the cold water hit, I was like, I was like, yeah, like,
Oh my God.
like, what do you call it? What do you watch that chewing gum ad? It's like Fresh Burst or something.
Regularly extra.
Yeah, Wrigley's extra.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was happening, just not in the normal area.
Same shit happened to me one time. It was like, you know, groin pain.
Yeah.
Right in there. Like. Then you're just rubbing it, but you think the more you rub it, the more it's going to go away, and then you're like, just not watching where you're rubbing. Then next thing you know, one little slip,
Oh no.
and you're not sleeping.
Dangerous stuff, eh?
Not good, like.
But that really digressed. I don't know what. But yeah, we record this podcast straight after the last one because we were at the port this weekend. We are going to end it on this. We are celebrating Thomas and Ross got their uni results, so it's all good.
Oh yeah.
Ooh, I feel like we just celebrated this 10 minutes ago
I know,
in the last podcast,
but
but let's celebrate again.
yeah, all good vibes all around. The boys got the 2-1s.
Yes, boys.
You were buzzing.
Now you pure pulled it out of the bag, like pure scraped it.
I would love to be in a fly on the wall whenever you.
'Cause
got that phone call.
I-
He messaged me. It was like, "We've done it."
Did the
And
phone
I-
call you?
Yeah,
they
because
phoned
like
us,
it was
so
like
we
the
didn't have to wait
exam,
over the weekend.
the exam board or whatever met on the Friday, but like it takes like 48 hours for it to actually go up. So she, like our course director, like rang us, and I was like certain I had got it too. Like.
The most annoying part of that was like I had got all of my results in, so I kind of knew what I was getting. So her ringing me was literally just her to go, yeah, you've got what I assumed I was gonna get.
Yeah.
But with you were waiting on exam results and shit coming back.
Hers was like the last one to come back, and like I'd worked it out to get a 2-2. I needed to get like 74% in my last exam.
2-1.
Or 2-1. I had to get like 74% in my last exam.
That was high for
And
an exam.
I know, and she rang me and she was like, oh, like
She was so
she was proper like,
building you up and all that.
she's like, oh, how do you feel? Are you nervous? And I was like,
well, it's about to get hot in here.
I was just like, oh, well, like it's done now, like, you know.
But
like,
imagine if you like burst out crying. So Thomas, how you feeling? Well, actually, not good.
Oh no. I was literally just like, oh, like it's done now. Like, what are you doing? She's like, you got a 2-1. I was like, what? I was
It's
like,
like the
seriously?
Jeremy Kyle show. You are not the father.
So I had to get 74% in that exam, and I got 75.
Pulled out of the bag.
Oh,
Proper
that's cheeky, like.
relegation zone.
That's cheeky.
He got the 3 points.
So
Got stayed up.
are you just gonna get a graduation ceremony?
Don't know. We were talking about this. Like, we don't really know what to do. Like, it's like online, but you can like rent the gowns. So you can either go in on the day, get the gown, and there's like a professional photographer, but you're only allowed to bring like 2 people with you.
That was the same, well, not the same, sort of the same thing. AFA was one of the first years where they graduated and it was online. But
Yeah.
we literally just all sat in our kitchen watching a laptop. Like. It was
Yeah,
weird.
that's what I
Like.
was going to say. Is it literally just not, you're just standing there, it's like, so it'll scroll through, it'll be like Thomas McKeown, Ross Evans, you'd be like,
no, it doesn't even happen like that.
What happens?
Well, it might be different now and maybe for yours, but with hers it was just like,
a list.
have you ever like went back to high school or something and then people do those fucking testimonial videos and they're just like, I went to Ulster University, now I work for fucking PwC. I really had a good time at Ulster. I made loads of friends and all that other shit. It was just that there. It was just like loads of people who'd done like actuary and finance or whatever. And just saying, and teachers and stuff talking, and then the name came across at the bottom of the screen. It wasn't even announced or nothing. Like. It was just at the bottom of the screen. But you'd like to hope that now the fucking cop themselves on, at least they're going to call it out or something. Like.
I think the only part that I would want to do is get the gowns, just to get photos of like mum and dad and all.
But you can either get like the gown out for 3 days, for is it a few days for like free, or you can like rent it for a week for like £18. No?
Wasn't there not like a hack where you rent it on a Friday and you get it till the Monday for the same price as one day?
Some people get so dressed up for their graduation stuff, and not even the people who are graduating.
If it's online, do you have to like actually dress up, or can you just sit there in like a hoodie or something?
They don't see you. Like, your webcam's not on. Like, you're just watching a pre-recorded video. Well, from past experience.
So you just sit
maybe
there.
Different.
Because Lucinda got her gown there last week, and we went up to Queen's to take photos, and like her dad wanted photos and all outside of Queen's and all with her, and I was like, yeah, grand. Like Queen's is literally, like, we went around there before you came, and literally there was ones outside of Queen's.
There's been ones
graduation
for
there was
2
this one
weeks.
guy.
Like,
that's what I was wondering. Is it not just so weird? All these people just rocking up with these fucking gowns. Like?
There was one guy, and he was there taking pictures of his girlfriend, and he was like full 3-piece black suit. And like hair,
off to take pictures of
hair
her.
like, hair like yours, gelled back, like completely slicked back, and like shiny slicked back, if you know what I mean, like that type of like look like some dodgy Italian.
Someone
And I
jizzed in his
remember like
mouth.
he was walking around, but he was walking around like this. There, and he walked past me a few times, and then he like set the tripod up, and then he went over and he stood beside her like this here, and I was like, lad, it's her graduation, and you're coming here looking like you're auditioning for like a GQ magazine.
I don't know how you stand there. You seen all this?
Like, we were standing out the front, and he was out the front, and we were waiting on him to move.
Right.
Yeah.
But
Oh right. You were with
we
Lucinda
were
waiting to
there.
get
I
your
was
photos.
waiting with Lucinda, like waiting, like I was just taking the photos for her.
Yeah.
And he was just, oh my god, I was standing there going like, what the hell is like. Like, but I wouldn't want that. I don't think I'd want a professional photographer.
Oh no, it's just a bit weird, like. Because you're not actually going to get the photo with the wee bit of paper and all, are you? Like?
No, we don't get the stuff. We get the post out to us like mid-August or something.
So it's like, what's the point? Like?
Just Photoshop.
I think I'll probably just rent the gown for the week and then take it home or whatever, and whoever wants to get photos of me can get photos of me. Like.
Come round. Anyone wants a photo? Like.
So yeah, send in your requests to here's the crack at gmail.com.
If you have graduated this year, well done. We've made it.
Wow.
We've made it. Like
John.
A GG.
a GG in the club, like. But aye, this year's been so weird. I'm so glad it's done. Like honestly, words cannot explain how happy I am to have the whole thing done.
What?
Tell your face.
Shit shoulder?
Just like to the knowledge. I'm so comforted by the fact that whenever I come home, I do not have to open a laptop again for another 4 hours.
I feel like actually getting a result as well is sort of cemented, like that's you done. Whereas like when it was sort of you weren't really done, if you know what I mean.
Like how long in your working life are you gonna have to write something that's like, some old geezer said this, but some other old geezer argued and said this. Like, do you know what I mean? Like some of
Fucking
the
try
stuff
and
was so
get
pointless.
fucking word counts.
Yeah.
I can't think of anything worse. Like. I'm dreading going back. Fuck.
That's right, you have to go
How
back.
how long have you got left?
Oh no.
2 years.
2 years.
That's a no for me.
I don't have to go back though. Well,
But you have to. Like now you've started it.
You have to.
You have to. But 2 years though. Could you go back for 2 years?
No. So my auntie and my granny were like, oh, like, would you think about doing a postgrad? And I was like, I think I'd rather die
yeah.
than do that.
Fuck that. Like.
No way. And ones who go back to night classes.
Die.
Why?
Some
You know what I
awesome
mean?
money.
Stop like.
It's
Will
a no
we
from me.
wrap it
Yeah,
up
we'll wrap
there?
it up.
Thanks for
Um,
listening.
Yeah, if you haven't already subscribed to the YouTube channel, subscribe to the YouTube channel. And follow us on Spotify.
And give us a review on Apple Music.
Leave a lovely wee comment on Apple Music.
That would be great.
Thank you very much for listening.
Goodbye.